Good evening. This is the Thin Places Public Information Network. The following broadcast has been assembled from verified reports, unverified reports, emergency service fragments, local testimony, environmental recordings, and material supplied anonymously to provincial authorities. Listeners are reminded that unexplained environmental activity should not be approached, documented at close range, entered, touched, harvested, tasted, burned, prayed over, photographed repeatedly, or brought indoors. Reports of unusual light, impossible wildlife behavior, familiar voices heard from unoccupied terrain, altered shadows, spatial distortions, or weather with memory-like qualities should be directed to your local office. Do not panic. Do not investigate alone. Do not assume the event is over because the landscape appears normal. This is Broadcast 1. Reports from the cave system near Banff. On October 17th at approximately 8:40 in the morning, a recreational caving group entered a previously mapped limestone system outside Banff National Park. The entrance was locally known. The route was not considered dangerous. The group consisted of 6 adults with moderate to advanced experience. They had proper equipment, local maps, radios, helmets, headlamps, emergency blankets, a satellite communicator, food, water, and enough battery life for approximately 12 hours underground. They expected to be inside for 3. They were inside for 9. According to all surviving reports, the cave changed after entry. Not collapsed, not flooded, changed. At 9:13 a.m., one member of the party noted that the passage they were following had widened beyond the dimensions shown in the survey. At 9:21, another member reported visible plant growth along the eastern wall. This is considered impossible. The section in question lies well beyond the reach of surface light. The photographs supplied show fern-like structures growing from dry limestone, each stem translucent. Each leaf contains small points of blue-green light. The group initially believed the growths to be fungal. They were not fungal, at least not according to the samples taken. No viable samples currently remain. Listeners are reminded that moving or removing biological material from an active anomaly is not advised. Again, do not remove material from an active anomaly. It may not survive exit. It may survive incorrectly. At 9:34, the group reached a chamber not present on any map. One member described it as too large to belong underground. Another wrote in her field notes,
"It looked like the inside of a cathedral grown by water and patience. The ceiling was lost in darkness, but there were lights up there, soft lights, drifting like insects or stars. The stone had veins in it, not mineral veins, something warmer, almost like roots."
The chamber contained running water. The source has not been identified. The stream flowed upward along one wall for approximately 13 meters before vanishing into a vertical crack. Video evidence confirms this. The video also shows an animal crossing the stream. The animal has not been classified. It appeared approximately the size of a fox with elongated limbs, pale hide, and a row of flexible tendrils along the spine. It did not react to the group's lights. It paused only once, turned toward the camera, and opened what witnesses describe as a mouth inside of its mouth. The audio from this moment has been removed from the public version of the recording. The reason for removal is listed as listener distress. At 10:02, one member of the party, identified in reports only as M, began to experience dizziness. At 10:05, 2 members reportedly difficulty judging distance. At 10:08, the group's lead navigator stated that the chamber appeared to contain more space than the mountain had room for. At 10:11, one radio captured the following exchange.
Say again?
I said don't look at the far wall.
Why? Everybody stop talking for a second.
Because it's moving when I breathe.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Birds.
No birds were present. At 10:19, the group decided to leave. The decision appears to have been unanimous. This is notable. Many anomalous environments produce fascination, fixation, or a sense of personal invitation. Witnesses often report feeling that the location was waiting for them specifically. In this case, all 6 members reported the opposite. They described the chamber as beautiful. They also described the beauty as unaware of them. One survivor later stated,
"It wasn't evil. That was the worst part. I could have handled evil. evil notices you. This was just there, huge and alive and doing whatever it was doing. We were lint on its sleeve.
During the retreat, the group discovered that the passage by which they had entered no longer matched the original route. The crawl space had become a vertical shaft. The downward slope had become level. A marked wall had no marking. One member was separated for approximately 4 minutes. His helmet camera continued recording. The footage shows him walking through a narrow limestone corridor, lined with the same glowing plant structures. His breathing becomes rapid. He calls out to the group several times, then he stops. The camera turns. At the end of the passage, approximately 20 meters away, a woman is standing with her back to him. She is not a member of the group. She is barefoot. Her hair is wet. She appears to be humming. The separated caver says, "Hello?" The woman turns her head. The camera fails. The missing member was recovered 3 minutes later by the rest of the group. He is found sitting in shallow water. He had no memory of the woman. His boots were dry. At 12:46 p.m., the group reached the original entrance chamber. They found daylight. They exited. What followed is the reason this incident was escalated beyond ordinary search and rescue review. The biological samples removed from the chamber began to decay immediately upon exposure to surface air. Witnesses described the process as rapid browning, liquefaction, and collapse. One sample briefly emitted light after death. Another produced a smell described as cut grass, hot copper, and rain on concrete. A third sample moved for 22 seconds after being sealed in a plastic container. At 1:03 p.m., all biological material had degraded beyond analysis. One non-biological sample remained stable, a stone fragment, dark gray, slightly reflective, approximately the size of a walnut. The group's geologists had collected from the edge of the upward flowing stream. The stone did not match surrounding limestone. Laboratory notes describe it as mineralogically inconsistent. Unofficially, one technician referred to it as impossible, but not dramatically impossible. The stone was later transferred. Its current location is unknown. We now turn to a statement recorded by a local search and rescue volunteer who spoke with the group shortly after the exit. The volunteer's name has been withheld.
They didn't come out screaming. That's what I keep thinking about. People think strange means panic. But they were quiet. Too quiet. One of them kept looking back at the entrance, like he'd forgotten something in there, but when I asked what, he said, "No, I don't want it back." Another one had mud on her hands, except it wasn't mud. It was this silver gray dust, almost like ash. She asked me if the sky looked normal. I said yes. She said, "Good." Then she started crying.
The cave entrance was revisited 48 hours later by provincial officials. No anomalous chamber was located. No glowing plant life was found. No upward flowing stream was observed. The route matched the old survey. The stone markings left by the group were present. The chamber was not. However, one difference was documented. At a depth of approximately 60 meters, investigators found bird feathers. Fresh, black, wet. No species match has been released. Since the Banff Cave incident, similar reports have increased across Western Canada. An abandoned grain silo near Innisfail was reported to contain ocean sounds. A child in Canmore claimed that the moon followed them into her basement. 3 hikers near Jasper reported seeing the same deer at 4 different elevations within 12 minutes. In Red Deer, a woman called emergency services after hearing her deceased husband speaking from inside a wall during a rainstorm. The wall was opened. No structural cause was found. The woman later stated that the voice had been asking to come out. It had been warning her not to let something in. The Thin Spaces Public Information Network does not currently advise relocation. We do not currently advise of excavation. We do not currently advise public gathering near suspected sites. We do advise caution. We advise documentation from a safe distance. We advise leaving natural objects where they are found. We advise treating familiar voices in unfamiliar places as environmental hazards. We advise keeping children and animals away from areas where shadows appear delayed, repeated, or improperly attached. We advise that all listeners remember the following. A location may appear ordinary after an event has passed. This does not mean the location is ordinary. This does not mean the event has passed. The group from Banff has declined further interviews. 2 members have stopped caving. 1 has moved out of the province. 1 reports recurring dreams of a chamber beneath the mountain, filled with warm stone, blue leaves, and birds flying in complete darkness. 1 reports no dreams at all. The 6th member could not be reached for comment. When contacted by phone, the number only produced static, followed by approximately 6 seconds of running water. This has been Broadcast 1 from the Thin Places Public Information Network. Stay indoors during unexplained weather. Do not follow lights beneath the earth. Do not bring living samples home. And if you hear birds underground, do not answer them.